What makes someone less of a stranger to you?
That's an interesting question. Never thought about it, but I guess the question itself is a stranger. So let me think through it for a bit.
I'd say a smile, a welcoming smile. I mean, a smile it's a welcoming gesture. Makes you look approachable, friendly. I used to be in business development, so when someone smiles, it's a good opening. So maybe that's what I'm hinging it on. But yeah, it makes you look friendly, even if you're not friendly. Makes you look friendly. I guess even after the smile and you engage in a conversation, you're still kind of a stranger at that point until you find some common ground, kind of bond over it, and then it becomes more of a friendship. Classic example is guys. We tend to become friends with other guys very easily over common ground, which seems insignificant to women, but you support the same football team I do. You don't support the same football team I do. You hate the team I also hate. You support my brother's team. You support my friend's team. They all don't really correlate, but they are all kind of, maybe you'd say flimsy foundations, but yeah, for us, they're firm foundations.
Pertaining to boys, we naturally relate with guys like on the spot. In an event, you can be like, oh, Charlie, give me your shoe, or like, I go somewhere, like, give me your shirt. Like, we are guys, so like, it's just the opposite sex that makes everything like quite difficult. But with guys, it's actually easy to fraternize. Yeah.
My short answer will be interaction. Interaction would range from facial gestures to conversations, right? I have realized that, let's say you're in a queue, a crowded space in a queue, just a simple shared look with a stranger gives you a sense of familiarity that makes it easier to have further interactions with them later on if need be. A simple nod of the head when you're passing by, let's say, a security man going into whichever building makes it easier for you to come back to ask for directions in case you're lost, right? And it makes the person more willing to help you. Even though you are strangers, you don't have to be friends, but I have realized and come to see that the simple and very subtle gestures we make towards each other makes a stranger seem less of a stranger in times of emergency or when you need help. From a simple smile to having a conversation to spending time together, we end up building what Gen Z likes to call a vibe with somebody, right? And usually after, let's say, 10 minutes into a conversation, unconsciously your brain has settled in a certain space with regards to how you view the person you're interacting with and how far or how narrow the relationship is going to be. So by that point, we end up doing everything else unconsciously.
So for me, I think it's the first 10 to 15 seconds of engagement, and they'll most likely be focused on the incident or the angle within which we meet. So if I meet you and you ask me a question, it's the connection that matters to me the most. If it's a situation where I need to offer help, it's my ability to offer that help that counts. If it's a situation where I need help, it's your ability to support that counts. But I guess in between all of that, there's a lot of layers, and for me, it's those layers that change everything. So I think it's more of a connection.
Ideally, I would say years of friendship. I mean, I have evolved. So now I'd say a simple conversation where we, I don't know, exchange shared experiences. It could be anything really. We could bond over the type of food we like, the type of music we listen to. An unexpected occurrence that would happen to us, something, a crazy situation in the bus or at work or something.
Personally, I think shared experiences count. When you have a shared experience with someone you literally met for the first time, let's say you guys go out on like an adventure trip or something, yeah, the person becomes less of a stranger to you. Regular interactions also play a part in someone becoming less of a stranger to you. And lastly, vulnerability plays a major role. I think when you're open-minded to someone and you begin to voice out to the person becomes less of a stranger to you.
When we become close, and that will happen like when we're constantly communicating. So constant communication, that's number one. And number two, when the person is able to pick on little things about me, maybe little things that I love, and I don't really get that from people, so that stands out to me. Yes, I think that. And I think one last thing is when the person shows interest in like things I like. Yes, that I don't know, like fosters the communication. It makes things easier. Yes.
I think when you start to know about their experiences, their struggles in life, their fears, their strengths, hobbies, and everything, I feel like when you know all this, one can be like less of a stranger to you.
When the person is welcoming, mostly people smile a lot, and their smile is so bright that it's very welcoming.
Right.
And also when a person is open-minded, the person thinks outside of the box, is able to plan the future with you, and also have fun around. You set goals and many others. And also when the person is able to communicate, there's always communication no matter what, is also outstanding for me. I'm not a student. It's not too much.
No.
If we share common interests
Okay.
or common experiences, be able to share that through conversation actually makes someone less of a stranger. And probably how they look. If they look chill, if they're not uptight, that also helps. Looks is what we see first, right? So if the person looks interesting, is wearing something you admire, something like a watch, or has some hairstyle that you like or something you're interested in, that then helps you approach the person, right? Then you can have the conversation to see if you have things of interest or experiences. So
If someone is not a stranger to you, would you call the person a friend?
I think it would take a little more to be a friend. I would need to see how the person relates to me when I'm in my very down moments, right? And how I also relate to them when they're in their down moments. Because I think everybody can be your friend when everything is fine, you're having fun, going out, having drinks, having a good time. But when things get really bad for both sides, and that's when you actually see who your friends are, because are they there for you? Are they really down to support? Not just say, oh, if you need help, call me, but then you call them and you don't hear from them. So yeah, I think that's what really shows if you are my friend. But it doesn't happen only once. Like, it has to be over a period.
Friendship, it's a very strong thing. And it requires, personally for me, it requires a lot to be able to call you a friend. Because I want you to be able to depend on me, and I want to be able to depend on you as well. So it takes more than that. I'll call you an acquaintance. People don't feel very comfortable about it. People like to be called friends, but it is what it is.
I've had the opportunity to interact with a lot of people. I've now realized that there is a difference between a friend, a colleague, an acquaintance. Not necessarily the fact that you like to put people in blocks, but just the fact that the person may not be in that close space with you, and that's okay. Like, you enter a new environment and maybe you're working for a short period. the person is hello, hi. Like you don't get so deep because maybe the space, the time does not allow for that, and that's okay. So yes, I can't call somebody an acquaintance because maybe we've not gotten to that close level yet. As I'll say, this person is my friend.
It takes a lot to be a friend, especially with me. I think it takes years of being present in my life and experiencing a lot of things with me. Yeah, it takes a lot to be my friend.
A friend is someone you can confide in, someone you can actually share your experiences with, someone that understands you, someone that you can actually go to when you feel like the world is against you.
Friendship is it's actually deep. Like the word friendship has like it means companionship, like someone you can be like really close to, like be vulnerable to. Yeah, if you're not vulnerable to anybody, the person is not a friend.
Usually with interactions, right, we end up putting a label on things too early. And that is when expectations are set. And then at the end of the day, there's some disappointment and some cognitive dissonance on some level, because then you realize the reality is not what you thought it was. And then if you are into personal development, you would like to backtrack, right, and discover when you went wrong. And usually it will be at the point where you decided the person was your friend without actually getting the confirmation that both of you had decided to pursue a friendship or a relationship or whatever interaction it may be, right? If you smile at the person in front of you in a queue and you think that is a cue to cut in, you may be disappointed. And that person is not your friend. He doesn't have to be your friend. He or she doesn't have to be your friend, right? But there is a kind of smile and nod, and you followed by the hand gesture. Oh, come cut in. And then you do. No disappointment. It was a mutual agreement.